Welcome again to Further Conversations, and this conversation will revolve around stewardship. I will always start by reminding us that the journey we are in is an exploration of a kingdom. It's a day of a kingdom. And everything in life is anchored on the kingdom. That's why when they came to him and asked him, teach us how to pray. And everybody, I know they're prayer warriors. He didn't tell them many things. He says, when you pray, pray like this. He says, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So you art in heaven means you're resident in heaven. We hallow your name. And then the next thing he says, which is profound, is that let your kingdom come on earth, which is the entire responsibility of man. Remember in Hebrews and in Psalms, it says that he created man just like in Genesis, and he put all things under man. And the angels came and said, who is man that you're mindful of him? Who is this guy that commands your attention and that your mind is full of him? And then they go on and describe and they say that you have put everything in creation under his feet. Remember in Genesis, he says, and have dominion. And in Genesis 3, it says, you shall tend and keep. Who is man that you are mindful of him? That you have put all things under his feet. You have put him in charge. And he goes on and says, and you have decked him with glory. We talk about God not sharing his glory. But to man, he does put his glory so that this man can, like in Revelation, give glory back to God. Angels envied and said, who is man that you're mindful of him? And that you visit with him. You take time to visit with him. I want to say to you that in this day of restoration, where the second Adam has made way and cleared the path for what the first Adam could not do, the attention to man and the visitation of God to this man is possible and is a reality in the day that we are in. So remember that the kingdom is key. Remember that we are here to establish the kingdom of God on earth as we see it in heaven. Remember, it is God's good pleasure to give us a kingdom. Remember that I have given you the keys of a kingdom, which means understand how the kingdom operates, understand the rules by which it is governed, and be able to unlock the aspects of life and the kingdom on earth, which are basically embedded in the how-to, based on the laws and the rules of a kingdom. How does it operate? What is a kingdom? It has a king, it has subjects. There are rules of how you engage. A kingdom has resources, and man has been put to oversee these resources. And that's where the subject of stewardship now comes in. I want to take you to a journey and explain to you a few things. There was no intention in the kingdom for the king to embed things in man for their own use. They were supposed to administrate on behalf of the king and govern as the king instructs, so that the wisdom and the will of the king is seen in the territory that they operate. No man had the right to qualify to put things for his own. But today, when deception kicked in and the essences of deception are seen, man is about himself. It's what he will wear, it's what he will buy, it's what he will have as a house and mansion. He lives for himself. He doesn't live for the cause of the kingdom. And we are correcting that by understanding that it's all anchored in stewardship. And what is stewardship? When you are called a steward, it means you are managing on behalf of an owner, and you have nothing of your own outside the management. And everything is anchored on management, organization-wise, country-wise, life-wise. You must manage matters pertaining to the sphere of operation you are in. And that is why in creation, it says when God created everything, it looked good, but there was no rain because there was no man. Until a man checks in, then the aspects of stewardship cannot be discussed. I want to remind you and remind myself that the essence of being a representative of the kingdom on earth is on behalf of the King who resides in heaven. Understanding that nothing is my own and that everything I am given is on behalf of the Master. And my job is to make sure that that which is passed my way is taken care of, is able to increase under my oversight as I hear Him direct, and be able to present it back to Him as a faithful steward, that it is well done. And there's no other text to read this but reference to the New Testament, and the conversation we all know is about talents. It says there was this man who had talents or gifts, and he came to these three people and said, I will leave these things with you. I will leave these resources with you, these talents with you. To one he gave 5, to another he gave 2, and to another he gave 1. And he said to them, take care of them. I am going for a journey to a far country. And when I come back, we will settle accounts. We will do accounts. I'm an accountant by profession, and I know what settling accounts is. We will do the math and see who has been able to propagate that which he was given. So remember once again, to one was given 5, to another was given 2, and to another was given 1. And the man took off on a journey. The Bible continues to say that after a while, he came back to take stock. And he summoned the 3 people. And to the first one, says, I gave you 5. What is your account? He said, Master, of the 5 you gave me, here is another 5. And Jesus said, and the man said to him, good and faithful steward, or good and faithful servant. And then notice one thing. Not only did he congratulate him for multiplying them, he then says that you're now qualified to enter into God's rest by reason of how you have taken care of the talents I left you. He gave him physical resources, which he multiplied and made good of. But when it comes to settling accounts, the thing he inherits is not just the congratulatory appreciation of 5 to another 5, but he now gains entry into the essence and realities of God, anchored on the platform of faithfulness. Now he can inherit the kingdom by his practice of the resources that he was given. He came to the other one who had 2 and asked him, what have you done with your 2? And he said, Master, in excitement, you gave me 2 and I've brought 2 back. Please note that it says when he was giving them, that he gave them according to their several abilities. Every man is anchored and measured according to the ability. It also says that to him that much is given, much is going to be required. So your ability is what determines what you are given. If you want to grow to plenty, if you want to grow to do more, make sure that you can demonstrate your ability by how you manage the things that you have given. So he says to him that is given little and takes care of it, then he can be trusted to more. But to him that is given and cannot move it from what it was, it says even that which he had is taken away from him and is given to him that has much. So the one who had 2 is congratulated and said, just like the one who had 5, well done, according to your ability. Now enter into God's rest. Enter into another reality. You dealt with the physical things, but they qualify you for spiritual entrenchment. And then he comes to the one and he says, Mr. One, where are you at? And the guy starts a story and says, I knew you're a tough master. I knew you want to reap where you have not sown. And the man is like, really? Is that true? And he says, because of that, I took the talent and I buried it in the ground and did nothing, so that when you come, I will give you back your talent. I was amazed by the things that he was told. Number one, he was told, if you then knew that I was a taskmaster and I would reap where I did not sow, then why didn't you give me back my talent at that point instead of keeping it? And then secondly, he says, or alternatively, do nothing, but put it in the bank and let it earn interest, so that the day of reckoning, when it comes, you will have at least shown the value that was created without wasting resources. And then two things happen. One is that what he had is taken away from him. And then two is that he cannot enter into a spiritual reality into the kingdom of God. And when I look at society today and I look at men running, everything anchors and falls on management. This is both institution-wise, organization-wise, government-wise. They think they take for their own benefit. Remember, we are only stewards, and that which you take will be accounted for. But it does rob you of something. It robs you the privilege to enter into realities untold. I want you to understand that the resources that you're granted, be they time, be it money, be it opportunity, be it custody of people, is a test to see whether you can navigate and grow into the realities that are ahead, where you can then be said to be a good and faithful servant or a good and faithful steward. Enter into the rest of God. So the qualification in life today and where we sit is who is managing and who is mismanaging. And to everyone who is mismanaging, I want to tell you for sure, your end is soon here, that you cannot go far. You will shoot yourself in the foot, because God is looking to see his resources increase. And by this, give the privilege to a man to enter into realities untold, spaces that they would never have qualified, simply because you've been a faithful steward. I want to welcome you to stewardship, anchored on management. When he has given you 5, ensure that your 5 becomes more than 5. When he has given you people, ensure you have managed well on his behalf. It is not your own. You're only your steward, meaning you're transacting on behalf of the master. And when the master then comes to visit again, remember, a day of reckoning is coming. We will settle accounts. And I am confident that as you listen to this and begin to apply, you will be able to transcend, to be able to come in and give an account of what you have done. And to every one of you, you will be able to qualify to enter God's rest, to realities untold, simply because you've been a faithful steward and embraced the aspects of management. It's a new day. There is another way to live. Very best. Thank you.